In the book The Tao of Equus, author Linda Kohenov wrote about how to experience things from the horse's perspective, using emotions as a language. I found her in the Arizona desert and asked her about how she discovered this.
I got Rasa, my Arabian mare, as a 2-year-old because I wanted to train a horse from the ground up who wasn't jaded, who wasn't abused. I wanted to find a different way of doing things. And my goal was to have a horse who could do some dressage and also do some extended trail riding, because my goal was to get as far away as possible from the human race on a regular basis. And what I found instead was that my mare actually had a pretty serious stifle injury and had to be off from riding pretty extensively. By that time I was really connected with her, and so I had to find ways to be with her and have a fulfilling relationship with her on the ground, and not necessarily running her around in small circles or lunging her or doing all kinds of fancy training moves, because her leg just couldn't handle it at that time. And so we spent long hours roaming the desert, spending time in the pasture, getting to know each other and hanging out together and all of that. So that was really the start of understanding that being with a horse and being fulfilled in a relationship with a horse didn't have to be about riding. I had this odd experience when I was out in the pasture with Rasa one day, and my other horse Noche was out there too, and there was a herd of horses, and I was standing under a beautiful tree on a beautiful October afternoon, pretty much just like today, with that luminescent blue sky, and Rasa and I were breathing in sync, and we were doing a little grooming and just going into this expansive meditative state that you get into with horses when you don't have an agenda. And in the distance, I noticed my horse Noche lift up his head suddenly, and before he could turn and run toward me, what I felt was a huge shock wave fly through the air at a considerable distance and cause my gut to constrict, and the hair rose up on the back of my neck, and I was poised to run at the same moment all the other horses were. And then I looked at what was going on, because at that point I thought, well, what could really be that scary on a beautiful October afternoon? And I realized it was a mountain biker. And I realized from a horse's point of view that would be pretty scary, because he had a helmet on that was shaped like the head of the creature from Alien. And he had on this fluorescent blue shirt and these electric socks with skulls on them. And he was slithering by really fast, not making steps, but moving like a snake would. And it struck me as so funny that I started to laugh, because I could really see what a mountain biker would look like from a horse's perspective. And I was just about to turn around and tell my horses everything was okay, and they had already gotten that message from me, because they saw me relax and they felt my amusement. And so they had already come back up, and they were looking at him too, like, oh, yeah, that is kind of funny, isn't it? And I realized that emotion travels through the air like sound, and that horses pick up on it as a language, and that once I was in the horse space of being tuned with them and the environment, that I could begin to use emotion as a language too.